Chapter 9. Plants, Habitats and their Adaptations. Plants grow everywhere. They can survive in water, in hot deserts as well as in chilly polar regions. The place or area where plants grow is called their habitat. The process of adjustment of plants in a particular area is known as adaptation. Only those plants that adapt themselves to their habitats can survive. According to their habitats, plants can be divided into two main groups, terrestrial plants and aquatic plants. Let us learn about how these plants adapt themselves in their habitats. Terrestrial plants. Plants that grow on land are called terrestrial plants. Different kinds of plants grow on different landforms. Plants that grow on hills and mountains. Plants that grow on hills and mountains are generally tall and straight. They have needle-like leaves called pines. These leaves have a coat of wax that protects them from snow. They bear cones inside of flowers. Teachers, please ask the students what type of plants and flowers they can find in different seasons. Are they different or same? Explain to them the reason of the difference. Most trees are conical in shape. These trees are, therefore, called conifers. Pine, fir, cedar, and spruce are examples of conifers. Plants that grow in plain areas. In plain areas, trees have lots of branches and leaves. They usually shed their leaves in winter to protect themselves from the cold weather. The trees that shed their leaves are called deciduous trees. However, these trees look green in rainy season. Common examples of trees in the plain areas are mango, neem, peepal, and banyan. Plants that grow in hot and wet regions. Plants that grow in hot and wet climate also bear lots of leaves, but they do not shed their leaves. So, they look green almost all the year round. That is why they are also called evergreen plants. Pine, fir, hemlock, and cypress are examples of such trees. Plants that grow in deserts. Plants that grow in desert areas face the problem of water shortage because there is very little water in the desert. These plants cannot afford to lose water, so they have no leaves. Their leaves are modified into spines. They have thick and fleshy stems. They carry out the function of photosynthesis. These plants have long roots which go deep into the ground to draw maximum water. Cactus and prickly pear are common examples of desert plants. Titbits. The roots of the South African wild fig tree can grow 120 meters down into the ground. It is a desert plant. Plants that grow in marshy areas. Plants that grow in marshy areas are called mangroves. The soil of the marshy areas lacks air. So, these plants have special breathing roots that come out of the soil to absorb air. Rhizophora or Sundari is a common example of mangroves. It grows in the Sundarban Delta of West Bengal. Aquatic plants. Plants that grow in water are called aquatic plants. There are three types of aquatic plants: floating plants, fixed plants, and underwater plants. Floating plants. Floating plants are small and light in weight. Wolffia, pistia, and duckweed are very small. Water hyacinth has many bulb-like swellings that are filled with air. They make the plant light so that it can float on water. Fixed plants. Some water plants remain fixed to the bottom bed of the water bodies with the help of roots. Such plants have long, hollow, and light stems that keep the leaves and flowers of the plant afloat. The upper surface of the leaves is coated with wax to prevent them from rotting. The leaves have the stomata on the upper surface. Lotus and water lily are common examples. Underwater plants. Some aquatic plants remain underwater totally. Their leaves are thin and narrow to offer little resistance to water currents. They have no stomata at all. Exchange of gases takes place through the general surface of the leaves. Hydrilla and Vallisneria are examples of such aquatic plants. Insectivorous plants. Some plants are carnivorous in nature. They trap insects and eat them. The plants that eat insects are called insectivorous plants. They are also known as carnivorous plants or meat eaters. Let us study about some of the insectivorous plants. The sundew plant traps insects in its deadly tentacles. These tentacles are found on the leaves. Each tentacle has a sticky drop that traps the insects. The Venus flytrap has leaves that shut like a pair of jaws. When an insect touches the sensitive hair on the surface of the leaf, its jaws close and trap the insect inside. The pitcher plant has a pool of liquid inside the hollow leaves. When an insect sits on the edge of the pool, it falls down into the pool. The pool secretes juices that dissolve the insect. Tidbits. A Venus flytrap's leaves will only shut if touched twice in 20 seconds. Keywords. Habitat, the area or place where a living thing lives or grows. Evergreen, trees which do not shed their leaves. Mangrove, trees that grow in marshy areas. Let us revise. The place where a plant lives is known as its habitat. Plants are divided into two groups, terrestrial plants and aquatic plants. Plants that grow on land are called terrestrial plants. Plants that grow in water are called aquatic plants. Plants that grow in marshy areas are called mangroves. Plants that eat insects are called insectivorous plants. A. Tick right the correct option.